Hey guys, so I just wanted to show you I got a brand new fridge. All jokes aside guys, this is the shipper box for the Blitzway 1/6 scale, yeah, believe it or not, Ecto-1. This is from Ghostbusters Afterlife, and as you can see, this is insanely big. I mean, look, just to give you guys an idea how big this is, I put it here in my hallway. Just look how big it is next to a standard door, you know, which is like 6'7" or 8. You know, this thing is massive, guys. I mean, I'm 5'10", and this thing comes, you know, to almost my shoulder. This is ridiculous. As you can see, it's massive. You know, it's pretty much like a mini coffin. So yeah, super big box. As you can see, you have the stats. I believe they show like how heavy it is right there. Now I'm not sure what the 19.5 kilograms are, or 32. I think 32 is the total weight of this, and 19.5 is pretty much like the car, because this box alone is very heavy, and obviously there's the art box inside. So yeah, very big box, guys, as you can see. I was wondering how the guy from UPS was able to handle this by himself, because I was waiting him all morning. I saw the truck pulling up, and then, you know, he was able to pick this by itself, which again, it's not that heavy. I mean, it's only 33 kilograms, which is 75 pounds ish. But that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is the size of the box, and as you can see, it's hard to demonstrate how tall it is, but it's very big. So yeah, let's look at the art box and stay tuned. Okay, so I just measured this thing, and it's about 55 inches long by 22 by 25. So as you can see, it's massive, and as you can see also, it's very nicely protected. You have these, I don't know how you call these. There's like air inside. It's almost like bubble wrap, but they are bigger. So you have all those, you know, everywhere pretty much. You have these, I guess, very thick cardboard pieces on the corners to protect the box. And there's also like, I don't know, maybe 2.5 inches of space in between. So yeah, this thing is pretty much bulletproof, and you can see very nicely packed. So yeah, obviously the art box is a bit smaller than the shipper in this case, which usually with Hot Toys they're pretty much the same size, but this is a little bit smaller. So yeah, let's go on. And yeah, as you can see, massive box, guys. I wasn't kidding when I said this is like a mini coffin. I can pretty much confident to say that I can fit all my 1/6 scales figures inside this box. This is how big this is. I mean, you know, you can play hide and seek with a loved one in here. They will never find you. That's how big it is. And as you can see, there was also some protections in the corner. There was some styrofoam and such inside. So yeah, it's massive. And here's another comparison. This is funny as shit, guys. I mean, this is the Hot Toys Batmobile, I guess 2.0, if you call it like that. This is the brown shipper, and as you can see, this thing is quite big. It's actually like 40 inches long, the car itself. And look at the size difference. I mean, there's actually almost an extra foot difference between these two. This is insane, guys. So yeah, let's go on with the review. Okay, and there's the beast. There's the actual box, the art box. And I'm actually very excited because Blitzway is also gonna come out with the DeLorean from part 2, was it? And they are gonna do a similar box to this. Obviously it's gonna be way smaller, but you know, it's cool to see companies, for the amount of money we're paying for these things, it's actually very nice to see art box, because Hot Toys are not making art boxes anymore for their vehicles. So this is a, you know, very good touch to see. And as you can see, I just filmed the review of the 3.0 premium scale Megatron from last night. As you can see, this box is massive, and as you can see, sitting on top, this was about 21 inches long across, and as you can see, I can almost fit 3 of them across. This is how big it is. So yeah, let's see at details here. Again, it's from Afterlife. It's actually my favorite Ghostbuster movie, believe it or not. but after that is gonna be the first one, obviously. And you have this nice graphic right there. This is when they were testing the car in the field. As you can see, not sure if this is the movie car or it's the actual vehicle, the 1/6 one. I think it's the 1/6 one. As you can see, very nice graphics. And I really like the quality of the cardboard, very solid. Again, let's pan over here. You see the Ghostbuster logo again on the back, I believe. Yeah, it's another shot of the vehicle. And again, bear with me guys, because this is taking almost my room here. As you can see there, 1/6 Ultimate Masterpiece Series by Blitzway. Boom, Blitzway logo right there. This might be a shot from the movie, but I think it's the actual car. But like on the background is the movie shot when they were chasing the ghost, I believe. And I have to see the movie again before doing this review. So again, on the back you have some warnings and such as usual. Some barcodes. And I believe on the other side, let's see here. Yeah, it's the same thing. So you have the Ghostbusters logo and the movie named right there. So yeah, excellent box. Again, it's very big. This is gonna be a pain in the ass to put in storage. Obviously the brown shipper, like I said, it's like 55 inches long. The vehicle itself, I think it's 46, so obviously not as big as the box, but yeah, still quite massive. And as I said in the intro, I was scared because, as you can see, there's the vehicle itself. For now I'm gonna set it up on the review table, but as I said, like, I took off at work when the UPS guy showed up, obviously, and I was scared there for a second, because I got this like last year in April and it was still pretty cold and there was like ice on the ground. And when the guy actually came down from the truck, you know, with the massive shipper box, he almost slipped. And I asked him, do you need help with this? He said, no, it's all good. Again, it's not that heavy. I mean, it's 75 pounds ish, but the box is very long. So I told him, do you need help? He said, no, it's all good. So he came out of the truck. He actually jumped down from the truck with the big ass shipper, and then he almost slipped, and I was like, holy shit. Could you imagine if he would actually drop this on the ground? I mean, as heavy as it is, it would probably do some damages inside. So yeah, again, fantastic art box. So yeah, let's dig in and see some of the accessories. Stay tuned. Okay, so for the accessories, let's start here with the instruction sheet. As usual, you have a nice poster there from, I guess it's the movie car, or this might actually be the actual car, 1/6 vehicle. So you have this massive instruction sheet that shows you how to plug. There's different elements that you have to plug on the car, some wires, where batteries go. This is actually all the elements. We have a bunch of hoses, the ladder, proton pack, everything, and it shows you where to put those. As you can see, all the elements, how to plug the wires, so on and so forth. It's actually quite extensive. It's how to open the doors, where the batteries go, how to plug the proton pack to the chair, where the USB cable goes, obviously on and off, how to open the hood, you know, all the opening panels of the vehicle, the wheels. That's actually quite interesting, that right there. Are these, I think these are supposed to be die cast or movable parts. It's gonna be interesting. This is obviously new to Afterlife. This is the small RT vehicle. They show you how to open the panels. This is how the vehicle gets out of the car in the movie. And then what we have, this is to open the doors. To facilitate that, you have this like small tool right there. It shows you how to open the door. Make sure not to damage it. Then you have the USB cable. This is for the sounds and lights. I'm gonna show you that in a second. You have the RT vehicle right here. I guess this is the newly ghost strap. This is very nicely detailed. It opens up when you press here, as you can see, to catch the ghosts. Very nice. There's like a spring load mechanism with that, but very nicely detailed. Again, this doesn't have the wheels doesn't turn. It's not a big deal, but the details on this is crazy, guys. See the small springs right there. There's a label right there. If my camera can focus, it's actually small. It's like a danger sign right there. But yeah, very nice. You have the cameras right there in front. The tires have some wear and tear, some dirt. Even on the bottom, very nicely detailed. And then I think this is Egon Spengler's Proton Pack, again from the movie. This is the same as the other Ghostbusters, but this obviously is weathered for this release. Again, you have lights inside this, and some blinking lights, and here as well. Again, the attention to details, the wiring right there. Again, this is my first Blitzway product, so I wasn't sure what to expect, but this blows me away. This is an actual metal hose. Again, fantastic details. Again, I am not a huge Ghostbusters expert, so I don't know what all of these trinkets do. But yeah, fantastic. And this is actually quite fragile. This is like a die-cast part right there, so make sure not to damage that. And again, this goes on the chair in the car. I'm gonna show you that later on. Yeah, fantastic details. And then you have like a certificate of authenticity right there. Just give me guys 1 second to take this out. It's actually quite stiff in there. You have this like nice booklet from Blitzway. And inside, again, would have been nice to see a numbered how many of these they've made, but they didn't show us that, which is unfortunate. But my guess is, I'm surprised that if they did like more than 2,000 of these, just because of the price. Yeah, fantastic. And that's pretty much all in terms of the accessories. Let's look at the beast. Jesus Christ, this thing is massive. Again, you have seen this on my channel before. I've shown some tidbits on this car, and I said here for months that I'm gonna review it, so finally here it is. Again, massive on my review table. As you can see, it takes pretty much the whole table. So hopefully the table is strong enough to sustain the weight, because this thing is pretty heavy. It was quite a bit of a workout to put this on the table. Again, I was making sure that not to break anything. So what I recommend when picking the vehicle up, put your 2 hands underneath the vehicle and lift up. That way, you know, just to avoid any risks of damage. And again, this thing is fantastic. Again, pretty accurate to the movie. I'm gonna show you guys some comparisons of the actual movie car throughout the video, because there are some inaccuracies. There are some places where the paint application is not quite, you know, accurate, you know, for the amount of money that we're paying on this thing, which is crazy. I'm gonna talk about that towards the end of the video. Yeah, so this is obviously modeled after a 1959 Cadillac hearse. I guess they made 2 versions of this back then. This was like a hearse or an ambulance. This I think was supposed to be the hearse version. So the story is pretty much in Ghostbusters Afterlife. This was sitting in a barn for like, you know, 40 years. So as you can see, it's very weathered, rusted. Again, in some areas the rust is very nice, such as these here next to the door. But there are some areas where it's pretty, like, there's a pattern, as you can see in some areas, especially like here. This is actually pretty sloppy. They've actually put some dots right there, so that's pretty sloppy. But again, most of it's not bad. Again, judging by the movie, this needs to have a lot more weathering, you know, throughout the car, a lot more rust. This panel right here, this is supposed to be like a chrome, you know, like effect paint, pretty much like the bumper. So This is what they've did is they've painted this, I guess, the same color as the car, beige. So yeah, that's inaccurate. The wheels need to have more weathering, but again, it's not too bad as it is. I think what they did with this actual car, it's in between of what it was in the movie. But as you can see, it's quite dirty. In some areas, again, the paint could have been better. This right here is very accurate. This is how it is in the movie. Again, one of the issues with the car is these would come crooked. The Ghost logos here. This one is not too bad. I'm gonna show you on the other side, but again, these a lot of people have issues. There are 3 of them, so 1 on each door, and then there's 1 on the back. So again, it's not 100% how it's supposed to be, but it's not bad. But as you can see, very accurate again with the scratches and everything. This is an actual sticker, but it's very nicely made. I mean, you cannot even tell. So that's fantastic. Again, there's a lot going on with the car. I'm gonna show you the light up on these in a second. Fantastic. I think this bit right here is supposed to be red. That's what it was in the movie. The lens right there. And again, these, they had a lot more rust and wear in the movie. Then you have some of the wires right there from the electronics, which I don't think look too horrible. You can definitely tuck these in place to kind of hide them, or use, I guess, a little bit of a tape to just put them together. But all the elements are very accurate. All the warnings, again, fantastic. Again, I'm not a huge expert, so I don't know what all of these supposed to do in a movie, but these have some articulations. Again, a lot of these you have to put in, so this part right here goes in, this right here, this, I think the batteries are underneath this compartment right there. You have the some effects right there, so you have some buttons where you can put your SD card inside to actually have some soundtracks of the movie, or you can plug your USB cable in there. This panel is actually, you can remove slightly. I'm gonna show you that in a second. Again, this dish moves, again, very accurate. And what I like about this, the most impressive thing is how they made the dust. This actually looks like dust. So I had a friend come over the other day, and he thought that this was actual dirt. He was actually rubbing the windshield right there, but no, this is how they made it. It's actually insane, very realistic dirt effect. And again, you have some rust spots throughout. You have the hood right there, which is massive. Again, this is 100% 1/6 scale. The vehicle is almost 46 inches long, which is insane, and about 18 inches tall to the top of the antenna side right there, which are die cast, which is nice. Again, you have the wires right there and some tie wraps holding that into place. Other than that, you have the leather right here on this side. This is a different configuration from the first movie, where this is on the other side, but they've made some changes to this car. Like there's a seat that comes out, the gunner seat. You have these hoses right there, which are pretty accurate. Again, those are very dirty. These were a pain to put on these, I guess, plastic tabs to hold the, to hold the hose in place. Those actually plug inside right there. But yeah, fantastic car. Again, very expensive. Probably the most expensive thing here in my collection so far. But I think it's worth it. I mean, you have the quality of the plastic is excellent. It's very well done. Again, you have the hood right there. Let me get around this thing because it's very massive. You have the ECTO-1 license plate right there. That's very nicely made with some rust effects. Again, these are gonna light up, the headlights and everything. The grille is very nice. And actually inside you have the Cadillac V8 engine. Again, it's not the same engine as in the second movie, because that was a custom build. In fact, for the Afterlife movie, they actually had 3 cars. One of them was the original one, which they actually repainted to make it more battle damage. It was actually restored. They bought a second car, and then the third car was pretty much in segments so they could film inside. And again, speaking of inside, be actually very careful when you're opening the doors, because as you can see, you can actually scrape these I guess silver lines or part right there. Again, fantastic. Look at the doors inside. You have the, almost if the vinyl actually, I guess, you know, got damaged over the years, you have the nice paint application right there. Look at that. Look at the inside right there. It's fantastic. This is very, you know, convincing to be almost like leather, but it's like sculpted plastic. The wheel, it's not 100% accurate, because in the Afterlife movie, he didn't have this like second segment to the wheel right there, so this silver part wasn't present. But other than that, you can even see the details inside right there. But that's dirty. Again, here, let me open the door on this side as well. Again, be very careful. You have the small tool, as I show you, that's gonna help you to open the doors. Here you have, again, the windows, all the notches. Again, paint application is very good. You have all this crazy equipment inside the car. And there's when the gunner seat is. Again, slightly different from the original two movies. You know, there are some changes that were made to the vehicle. Obviously, you have some seats right there. But yeah, fantastic. This is one hell of a beast right here, guys. Definitely a nice topper. Every time friends or family come in the room, this is probably the first thing that they're gonna see, because of the huge size. Again, I'm doing some comparisons. But yeah, let's look at the other side and see the details over there. Give me a second here, guys. Okay, so here's the other side of the vehicle. Again, it's similar, but you have like this hose. And again, the first movie, the ladder was on this side. And again, here's fantastic. It's very big. Like I said, guys, it's about 40, almost 46 inches long, about 18 inches tall. So yeah, and again, the paint application is fantastic. You see here, be very careful with the mirrors. Again, there are a lot of elements that can be damaged here, so again, make sure to you know, not to damage those. And again, give me here 1 second, guys, because what I'm gonna attempt to do is show you action inside. Let me just turn the lights right there. I'm gonna open the doors. I'm gonna show you inside more details using my phone right there. So as you can see, the dashboard is very accurate. And again, this door right there, they actually recommend you to use that small tool, because this doesn't open like the others. So you have to open it like this, just a little bit. Then what you have to do, open it from the side right there. And this is actually very impressive what they did. Those hinges right there, those are die cast, so that's very accurate. Not necessarily accurate, but it's very secure. And again, just showing with my phone right there, put some lights inside. Very accurate. The chair right there comes out, and again, this part, again, those, I think those are die cast parts. Okay, let me just, again, the door so pretty much slides in and out, so you can have it in the movie where this pops out like this. Again, be very careful, just take your time. And then the gunner chair, let me see here if I remember how to do this, because I haven't taken this out in a while. But yeah, just this thing rotates out. Again, it slides. You have a nice mechanism right there. This is insane, guys. I mean, yes, it's a lot of money, but with all the bells and whistles, I think this is worth it. And again, you have nice straps right there. You can actually put the proton pack right inside there. There are some pegs, and you can actually put a small character in here. We have the lever right there. This comes down. Boom. All the nice details. I know some people had some issues with this contraptions right there, because it was loose. So what they did, they just screwed the screws tighter, because those were loose. As you can see, this is very convincing right there as a rust effect. The grid right here, that's fantastic. As you can see, very dirty. The first one I think had a window right there, that's removed from the Afterlife, obviously movie. And again, I think I prefer Afterlife than the first two movies. Maybe because this is the one that I, watch the most. But obviously the first one is a classic. So yeah, fantastic. Again, all the gear inside. And again, I like how these vinyl parts right there are kind of, faded away. They are scratched and cracked. So that's very nice. So again, to close the door, put it like this, and then, put some pressure on those pieces right there, metallic pieces, and then boom. That's just go in. Then there's a magnet right there on the inside that holds everything. And you have this, I guess, this is like a piece of tape, but this was modified in the movie because the handle was on this side, on the first movie and the second. And again, great details right there. Again, be very careful with the doors because you can scratch this silver part. So again, this goes in, and again, everything sits very flush, as you can see. So that's fantastic. All the edges sit very nicely. Again, you have the mirrors right there. You have some reflections. The antenna right there, this is something that you have to assemble. This right here, this is an actual metal part that goes up to the top. You have some more wires and whatnot. Very intricate details. And let me just come here on the end of the vehicle to show some details. And again, you have the ECTO-1 license plate right there, which is great. There you go with the New York. Again, this is crooked for me, the logo right there. You have some nice details. Again, this opens as well. It's kind of stiff right there. Again, it makes some scary noises. So again, be very careful. Again, some of the batteries actually go in that compartment right there. As you can see, it's kind of opened. But yeah, crazy details inside right there, guys. As you can see. And again, this is where you put that small vehicle. Let me just put some more lighting in here, guys, so you can see. But yeah, this actually opens up. If I can do it with one hand. There's two compartments, and then there's like a grid that comes down. When you press on it, obviously do that gently. As you can see, it opens up, and this is how the car pretty much comes out in the movie, as you can see below there. So you can take the vehicle and again put it right there. It's gonna slide. Well, it's not gonna slide because the wheels don't move, but you have the same effect as in the movie. You can see the small vehicle coming down right there, so that's very nice. Again, very nicely detailed. You can close this up. Boom. Close those two panels or doors. And again, this is modified from the first movie. That wasn't a feature. So yeah, put the car right there. And again, the door, you have some nicely die-cast hinges. Just close this up. So what I don't like about the vehicle, there's not a lot of things that I don't like, but what I don't like is these. As you can see, this is like a vinyl tape material that they've used right there and inside there. And for the price of the vehicle, I mean, this is a slap in the face. I mean, come on, this is like almost $2,000, and you're putting tape on the vehicle as opposed to paint the vehicle in red. So as you can see, this is actually real paint, but down there it's actually vinyl. It's almost like a electrical tape vinyl, if I can compare it to that. So I'm wondering why they did that, because this with the obviously in a couple of years, how is this gonna affect the vehicle? Is this thing going to come off? As you can see, there's a gap right there, even down there. It's kind of misaligned a bit in the corner where the door opens. It's actually not too bad, but again, this is very weird how they did this. And I've actually discovered this. It was like a video on YouTube of someone actually showing the original car from '84. It had the same thing, and I don't think a lot of people are aware of this feature. That's actually tape. It's very weird. So again, for the amount of money that you're paying, this is, this is insane. But other than that, I have not a lot of complaints. Again, the weathering could have been nicer because there's some areas where the weathering is pretty, I guess, consistent and not, what's the word to say? Not, it's very, I guess, in patterns, similar patterns. And it should have been more, I guess, not as consistent in terms of the wear. Again, I'm gonna put some pictures of how it is in the movie. Yeah, the rear lights right there. Again, those are gonna light up. And you have the massive tires. And again, I don't know how the engineering of this thing actually surprised me, because I'm not sure how they were able to, build the car and make it actually, support the weight on those 4 tires. It's insane, because there's a lot of die-cast underneath the car, to help it, pretty much not falling apart. There were some concerns over the Jazz Inc. vehicles, especially I believe was the BVS or the Justice League Batmobile. That was pretty much falling apart because it was too heavy. But the engineering on this thing is gonna be insane. Again, I'm gonna show you guys underneath because there's a lot of details there, as you can see. So yeah, see, this is a good example of the weathering. So you have this like pattern which is not realistic. You have some of this around the car. So yeah, it's amazing. Okay guys, so I'm attempting something stupid right here. Hopefully this thing is not gonna fall on my head, because that's gonna be a viral video. A collectible king, a YouTuber. But I'm gonna attempt to show you guys the undercarriage of the vehicle, because I don't think there's other videos on YouTube that actually show you the details underneath the vehicle. So as you can see right there, you have all the engine parts, the brakes. There's actually some springs right there. And all the details. This thing is crazy how it's made. It was made again. There's some die-cast elements underneath here for sure. And again, it's hard to see. But yeah, even the underneath is detailed. Or like, let's say the Hot Wheels, the 89 Batmobile is pretty much like a giant Hot Wheels. But this one, they haven't skipped a detail, which is crazy. As you can see right there, you have the drivetrain, everything. The frame is die-cast. That's why this thing is so heavy. And I actually have to clean this thing. I think this is how actually it came right from the factory. As you can see, it's very dirty. Right there, putting the lights. So I have to clean this. But yeah, fantastic details, guys. Wow, I'm blown away. There's so much to see. Hopefully you can get a pretty good look. So yeah, as you can see, this thing is crazy. Very nicely detailed. Yeah. Okay, so for the light up features, you have like 2 options. Again, there's a button right here, and as you can see, these are gonna move. It's actually fantastic. Same thing in the front. This is gonna blink, as you can see. And then to activate the front lights, I have to go inside the vehicle. Yeah, very nice. As you can see. So this is like, I guess, mode 1. Just press on that button. And give me guys a second, I'm gonna activate the other mode. Okay, so the other button is gonna be located right there. Boom. And this actually allows you to have the lights on the rear, Right there's a blinking light, and then in front you have the headlights right there, which is fantastic. So again, let me actually press the second mode, I guess, again right there. So again, now you have the full effect. So as you can see, that was quite noisy. And then there's another mode where you plug your USB cable. And again, this, bear with me here guys, because I haven't done this in a while. Again, as you can see, this panel opens, and there you can put your SD card right there and your USB there. So again, give me guys here a second. I'm gonna connect the cable and we're gonna see the sounds that the vehicle does. And there you go, as you can see, it's very loud. You have the sirens from the movie. And again, the USB cable goes right there. Again, fantastic guys. So just, yeah, unplugs right there. And again, you can put your SD card there if you want, like for say, to put the soundtrack of the movie. And you do have some options right there. You have some buttons. Actually, let me try to see what those actually do, because I don't remember. So putting the sirens on, let's see here. Okay, so that's to stop the sound. And to put that back on. So I thought that those were some options, I guess, for the volume. So I wasn't far off. And again, this panel plugs, goes back in. Again, you have the 4 buttons right there. But yeah, I mean, it's a fun feature, I would say. Again, usually I don't put lights in my collectibles, but this one was very fun, you know, to add. And again, let me show you again the hood right there. It's fantastic. You can see the Cadillac V8 engine. Again, you have the actual wires from the electronics. Again, those could have been maybe integrated better, I guess, with some tape, because they're kind of poking out, but it kind of makes sense to have them right there next to the engine. As you can see, very detailed. You have the Cadillac logo right there. As you can see, fantastic. So yeah, I mean, in terms of details, this is gonna be way more detailed than your, you know, Hot Toys vehicle, your, you know, Jazz Inc. This is so far the most accurate, detailed 1/6 scale vehicle on the planet. I mean, it's not even funny. It's the biggest, although I think Jazz Inc did the 89 Batwing. I think it's bigger than this. Or maybe it's like the same length. I don't know, I have to check around. But yeah, in terms of details, you know, the price again, this was $1,900 plus for me here, you know, in Canada. I think I paid like 2,600 Canadian dollars plus tax and shipping, which was expensive again, because this vehicle inside the box is like 74 pounds and shipping was like $200. You know, again, it's a big ass coffin type box. And this one you have an art box, which I showed at the beginning of the video, which was very nice quality of cardboard. And again, so this for me was about 3,000 Canadian dollars, give or take. Again, very expensive vehicle. I mean, you know, with that kind of money, you're pretty much approaching, you know, Prime 1 and, you know, I guess some Queen Studios, you know, money right there, you know, when we're talking about life-size statues and whatnot. So again, most expensive thing in my collection right now. And yeah, speaking of Prime 1, make sure you guys stick in, because I did acquire my first Prime 1 statue. So Expect a video on that next week or so. Again, I got my first 1/3 scale statue. So yeah, I'm gonna keep a surprise of what character that is, but you're gonna have to wait until next week to see. So yeah, this again, it's a fantastic vehicle. I recommend this if you have the space, again, because it's very long, and make sure you have I guess a very solid table, or in my case it's gonna be a garage shelf that's gonna support the weight of this, because you do not want to put this on a glass table. And again, I repeat, you do not want to put this on some sort of cheap table from IKEA or something, because this is gonna break your table, and you do not want to damage this $2,000 vehicle. I mean, that's gonna be pretty much a pain on the ass. You do not want to do that, so make sure you have something solid to put this on, you know, on a desk or some sort of wood table that's gonna support the weight. So yeah, let's do some size comparison, guys. I'm gonna show you how big this thing is. Okay, so this is not even funny. Look at that. Look how big this thing is, guys. Again, 46 inches long, about 116 centimeters. And look with the next to the Hot Toys 89 Batmobile. Look at that. I mean, they're not quite a line right there, but this thing is like 99 centimeters long. I think this is clearly underscaled, because this thing is supposed to be a lot closer in scale with this. Obviously the Jazz Inc one is about 3 or 4 inches longer, but you can see how accurate the scale with this thing is. And here next to it is the Mark III DeLorean. I mean, this thing is like a midget. Look at that. It's almost half the size of the vehicle. Again, this thing is so long. And again, I didn't brought the tumbler, but the tumbler is pretty much like the widest of all the 4 vehicles. This is again the longest and the tallest. And again, look at that right there. Oh my god, it's very big. And again, some people said it was overscaled. I don't think it's overscaled. Again, this thing is the vehicle itself, I think it's like almost 20 feet long or 22 feet long, which is very accurate. Actually, let me just take my Michael Myers here figure. Obviously, since he's the guinea pig here, I'm using him to do some size comparison. Just want to show you guys this with the hood. The hood itself is like, look at that, look at that. It's almost like, I guess, 13.5 inches long across. And if I put Michael to the next to the car right there, let me change the angle right there. As you can see, this thing is huge. So this, as you can see, is over 6 feet. So when I put like a regular character next to the car, again, it's massive. Actually, in fact, I have to pop the character inside because there's room right there. So I'm gonna do that next to show you. But yeah, when it comes to the DeLorean, it's actually very small inside to put figures. You know, I've seen reviews where have Doc Brown or Marty inside. I think the canopy of this vehicle is too small. Obviously, Blitzway is gonna come with their Mark II. I've done a video on this, so go check that out. It's gonna be slightly bigger than the Hot Toys one, and hopefully there's gonna be more room inside, because this thing is very small. When you're putting a figure inside, the head is gonna touch, you know, the top of the door right there. So yeah, this is obviously slightly underscaled. And the 89 Batmobile, that's obviously 3 inches smaller than what should be. Should have been wider. This part right there should have been longer, obviously, and that's pretty close. The tumbler, it's pretty close. It's maybe an inch or two underscaled, but that's pretty close. So this, obviously, it's the most, I guess, you know, accurate 1/6 scale vehicle out there. Again, the hood, I can't keep not looking into this engine. It's very nicely done. Again, even the underneath of the car, it's very nice. You have actual springs underneath right there. They're very big and very thick. They're about that big, about, you know, 2-3 inches. And again, the weathering. So yeah, if you're looking for a you know, 1/6 scale vehicle, and in my opinion, these 3 right there are the most iconic, I guess, Hollywood movie vehicles that you can get. Obviously, the 89 Batmobile, the Ecto-1. Again, this is from Afterlife. so it's not the original movie. And this is from part 3. I know a lot of people don't like the part 3 card, the off-road car. Yeah, this is the most iconic vehicles in movie history, in my opinion. I guess some people are gonna include KITT or even the Jeep from Jurassic Park, but again, in my opinion, these 3 are like the, you know, the trifecta of Hollywood magic right there. So yeah, this thing is massive. Again, guys, I cannot recommend, but if you have the place, you have the money. Again, I display mine just in these garage shelves, which can support about between 200 and 500 pounds per shelf. So again, it's not gonna be a problem. But if you have like a flimsy table, do not put this thing on, it's gonna break. So yeah, again, make sure to stay until the end of the video, guys. I'm gonna do some you know, some montages, you know, use the different lights, and I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna actually attempt to put multiple Michael Myers in the vehicle. I know there's obviously I'm gonna put 2 in the front and maybe 1 in the back, so we're gonna see how that looks. And again, guys, thanks for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe, like, let me know what you think about this vehicle. Do you like Afterlife, the movie? I have the art book right there. And again, I look at the movie again before doing this video because I want to have the most knowledge possible about this car. So yeah, as usual, stick around. Make sure to watch my next video. Is gonna be on a Prime 1 statue, a 1/3 scale statue. I wanted to buy one of those since like last year, so make sure to watch that next week. And as usual, guys, stay safe, and see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye bye.